why would they even look at my application? Seeing your role slowly being replaced by something that doesn't even breathe. It's not just about losing jobs. It's about losing identity. AI cannot copy a personal brand. Invisibility is the new unemployment. Let me pause here and share something personal. Let me ask you something. Have you ever scrolled past a job post and thought, why would they even look at my application? Or worse, seeing your role slowly being replaced, automated, or optimized by something that doesn't even breathe. That's not your imagination, it's happening. AI is moving faster than we ever expected. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. It's not just about losing jobs. It's about losing identity, losing relevance, losing your place at the table. But not everyone is getting pushed out. Some people, ordinary people, are thriving in this new world. Not because they're smarter, not because they know how to code, but because they built something that AI cannot copy. A personal brand. So, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through why personal branding isn't just a social media trend. It's a survival skill. And I'll show you exactly how to build yours before it's too late. Let's get into it. Let's not sugarcoat this. AI is replacing people quietly, quickly, and in places no one expected. It started with factories and spreadsheets, but now it's writing blogs, answering customer service tickets, summarizing meetings, even screening resumes. And here's the scary part, it's not slowing down. According to a 2023 Goldman Sachs report, up to 300 million jobs globally could be impacted by AI automation. That's not science fiction, that's data. You used to be told, go to school, get the degree, follow the path. But today, degrees aren't protection anymore. Skills alone aren't enough. Harvard Business Review put it perfectly, showing that in a job market disrupted by AI, personal branding will be a major differentiator. Professionals with visible, niche-focused brands experience significantly less career disruption. So if your online presence makes you look like everyone else, you don't just become average, you become invisible. And in today's world, invisibility is the new unemployment. Let me pause here and share something personal. A friend of mine was laid off from a marketing firm. She had all the qualifications, a strong track record, and had worked with big name clients. But when she started applying again, nothing happened. Total silence. You know why? Because when people Googled her, they found nothing. No articles, no LinkedIn post, no unique voice. She didn't exist in the digital world. And in today's job market, that's the same as not existing at all. But here's the flip side, the helpful part. Some people are standing out. They are not being replaced by AI because they have made themselves irreplaceable through visibility, trust, and story. And that brings us to part 2. What exactly is personal brand? And why is it the most valuable thing you can own today? Your personal brand is not your logo. It's not your resume. It's not how many followers you have. It's the feeling people get when they hear your name. LinkedIn's Future of Work report found that professionals who actively post and engage on the platform are 5x more likely to be approached by recruiters. Why? Because visibility builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. And that's something AI cannot simulate. Not only that, even MIT and Stanford's 2023 joint study on generative AI in the workplace concluded that while AI tools increase efficiency, The biggest gains went to employees who could pair tech with human trust, creativity, and presence. Traits applied by personal branding. So again, this isn't about going viral. This is about being undeniably human in a world of algorithms. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I get it, but where do I even start? Let me break it down for you step by step in part 3. You don't need to be a content creator. You don't need to dance on TikTok. You just need to be intentional. Here are 6 steps that can take you from invisible to irresistible. The first thing you have to do is to define your niche. It's important. Why? Because what do you want to be known for? This is the question you have to ask yourself first. What do you want to be known for? Not everything, not everyone. One thing. Be the go-to person for that subject. That's how brands are born. So make sure to have a niche that you are targeting. Number 2, craft your message. What do you stand for? Again, what do you stand for? What do you believe? What truths do you want to share with the world? Make sure your message is consistent across every platform. The third important point here is to choose your platform. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be somewhere consistently. Maybe it could be LinkedIn, it could be YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. Pick the one that suits your audience and energy. The fourth important point you have to consider is to show up constantly. This is the secret most people ignore. You don't need to go viral. You need to be visible, reliably. Once a week is better than once a month. You're not building hype, you're building trust. So make sure to have this trait of consistency, because if you don't have that, you will not build trust with your audience. The fifth point is to engage and add value. Don't just post and ghost. Reply to comment. Give before you ask. All right? People remember the ones who make them feel seen. So make sure to engage with your audience. The last one is you have to document and don't just create. Let me explain this one for you. You don't need to have it all figured out. Share what you're learning. Show your process. Let people grow with you. That's how loyalty is built. If you're wondering if this really works, consider this. According to McKinsey's 2023 Future of Work report, professionals who actively showcase their adaptability, soft skills, and creative thinking on digital platforms are twice as likely to retain or grow in their role, even in industries under heavy automation. And to prove this works, not just in theory, but in the real world, let me tell you the stories of 3 people who use personal branding to change their lives across different platforms, different industries, and different walks of life. So, how do we know personal branding actually works? Is it just a buzzword, a nice to have, or is it the difference between being forgotten and being found? Let me take you through a few real-life stories that prove how powerful a personal brand can be, especially when the world is shifting under our feet. The first real example I'm going to share with you guys is the doctor who became a global coach, AliAbdaal. Let's start with AliAbdaal, a junior doctor in the UK, working shifts, exhausted, but curious. He began recording videos from his room, sharing how he studied efficiently. No fancy setup, just a camera and a message. So what happened next? Millions of subscribers, a business that now earns more than his medical career ever could. Ali built a personal brand around learning and productivity. And today, he is not just a YouTuber. He's a teacher to millions. And AI can replicate that personal connection. Ali's story shows us that you don't have to wait until you are an expert. You build your brand by sharing what you already know. And speaking of sharing your values, the designer who got the world's attention, Chris Du. Chris Du didn't chase clients, he shared wisdom. As a graphic designer and agency owner, he started uploading branding tips and pricing strategies to Instagram and YouTube. Today, his content is a magnet. Global brands consult with him. Why? Because he made himself visible and valuable. And that's the core of personal branding. And finally, I want to bring it closer to home, to someone I deeply respect and who represent what a high-level personal brand looks like, especially in Africa. The entrepreneur who commands global rooms. Vusi Thembekwayo. Vusi Thembekwayo isn't just an entrepreneur. He is a presence, a force. From boardrooms to stages, from South Africa to Dubai, Vusi built a brand around bold ideas, strategic thinking, and powerful storytelling. But here is the thing. He didn't wait for CNN to feature him. He used YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram to build his influence. His content isn't entertainment, it's empowerment. And because of that, he's trusted, followed, and booked globally. When AI disrupts the world, people like Vusi don't get replaced. They help lead the transition. All these people, from doctors to designers to CEOs, used personal branding to take control of their future. Not because they were loud, but because they were clear, consistent, and courageous. In this new world, your resume gets you in the door, but your personal brand makes people remember your name long after you've left the room. So here's my challenge to you. Don't be just another profile in the crowd. Be a name. Be a voice. Be a story people remember. And if this episode sparked something in you, if it made you pause and reflect, then do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to this channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I've included all the expert insights, studies, and references I mentioned in the video description below. So make sure to check those out if you want to dive deeper. This is just the beginning, because in the next episode, we're going even deeper. And I promise it's something you don't want to miss. I'm Nabil. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be visible and valuable. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.